So today decided to make a small video. How to start earn building a furniture as a side hustle. There'll be two parts. It's basically a two parts. There's a difference between having a side hustle building a furniture and actually building a business. So I will be building a small cabinet for one of my clients. It's for the meter box. He wants to cover it. There's an old box in front of it. It's just the meter box is really old and ugly, and they want to have cover it with a cabinet. And I thought we might do it two things at once. I made a small notes for myself, so we're gonna go through the list. Okay, so just finished building a play kitchen for my daughter. So I'll put that aside. So I think we'll start with the tools. So the first main thing is, can you find a place, a sawmill or a carpentry, where can they prep all the material for you? That is the cheapest and easiest way to start. So for example, I live in Dublin. I live in Ireland, but I have a place in Dublin called Woodworkers. So you can buy all the sheet materials, hardware from them, cabinet doors and stuff like that, and they have a sawmill in there. So for example, you make a small drawing, yeah. Let's say, I don't know, you make something like that. That's a rough kitchen drawing. Then you go to sawmill, yeah. You fill in the cutting list with every single part, material, sizes, which sides you need to edge, yeah, and you pay for it, and it's ready in a few days. And then it comes in like that, yeah. So these are all the pieces. So you don't need it edged, that's an edged. It's all cut on CNC, it's cut on a panel saw, but they have CNCs as well, yeah. And it's super precise. Okay, so that would be the first thing. If you have a sawmill like that around you, cabinet making place, carpentry, call it whatever you want, that's really good. The other places, you can find the bigger places online. So for example, they operate online as well. So I don't need to go there to order it in. I can just go online, fill the form, and they will ping me a message when it's ready, and I will go and collect it, because it's an hour drive one way for me. So, you know, it saves me that hassle. There are bigger places. Let's say if you're in Europe, you can order from Poland and stuff like that. I don't know where you're from and what's your situation, but there are bigger places that you can put in orders in online. They will send it over to you, and you basically assemble the flat packs. If you have that option, all you need is literally a drill, impact driver, yeah, or screwdriver, call it whatever you want. What else you would need? You know, the pocket screw jig, that would be essential for a beginning. Few drills, yeah, obviously a few drills. The main ones like that, you know. So pilot hole, you drill a pilot hole and it countersunks the screw in. Pocket screw jig, few levels and few squares. My squares are in the car, yeah, but I have them around, so I don't need them now at the moment. But yeah, few levels, I don't know, a ruler, just the basic stuff. So you can actually start. I think I'll show you what I've started with. So I moved from UK to Ireland, and I had to buy a lot of tools at the same time, and I just went to Lidl and bought cheapest stuff possible. Whenever that breaks down, just upgrade it. The tool wise, I advise how to buy a tools. Obviously we would all want like a DeWalt, a Festool, Milwaukee and stuff like that, but you need to buy the best tool you can afford, and the tool you can afford to break down and you can afford to replace it. So I started with this machine, yeah. it still works, and I still use it on a daily like not daily basis. I use it in a workshop, and the thing is, like, let's say I need to, so you can use this tool in both ways, and it's really fast. So it have a click on chuck, yeah. So let's say you have a bit in here, and you have a drill bit in a chuck, yeah. You can drill the hole, remove the chuck, and screw the screw in. Super fast. This costs, was it like 29 quid without a battery? And that get me started. I have one of them, the small SDS as well, because this doesn't have an SDS option. It still works. It's been 4 years. Same original battery. Works perfectly fine. Then obviously, because I went in doing full time, I upgraded it. So I have a handyman business. So that's different from furniture making. At the moment we're talking about how to do the side hustle in the furniture making. So obviously I have D-volts. I have a lot of other tools, but we're going to go through them a little bit later on. Okay, so need to remove that. So the basic tools to start, something like that, something to screw it together, something to drill with, few drills, wooden ones, yeah, few bits and stuff like that. So you can get yourself going for 100 quid. Yeah, $100, €100, £100, So, okay, we'll move the stuff slightly on one side. So like I said, I will be building the stuff as well, and I'll be talking. Okay, so let's say you started, you bought yourself first few tools. Don't go spending 20 grand, because you don't know, the business might not work. If you're going to take a loan out, 20 grand, buy all the tools and stuff like that, and half a year later you understand it's actually not for you. You don't want to do it. You want to stay in office or whatever. Yeah, start with a minimum and then upgrade as you need and as you go. Something breaks down, or you have a feeling that you want a little bit more powerful impact, or you need a faster, better drill. Go and upgrade as you go. Then probably a year later, when you, let's say, you know you want to do it seriously, or maybe it's going to come faster, you can add stuff on, you know, but add the stuff on from the money you earn. That would be my advice. So a miter saw, plunge saw, table saw, those would be the first ones on the saws. Again, I still work 4 years later. I have an Evolution table saw. I will have a video coming up about that. I have Erbauer, which is I buy stuff that in Screwfix. I have quite a few things from them, and they're really good. Erbauer plunge saw, and I have Metabo miter saw. With a miter saws, like, if I would have the money that time, I would buy the Bosch one. Bosch or D-volt. D-volt's unreasonably expensive, the one that I want. And the Bosch would have been, so I bought Metabo for 300, the Bosch would have been 600, the bigger one. And D-volt I think was 900. But again, affordability. So my Metabo, like, it never have got a square cut in its life. Like, you can try to adjust, you can fiddle with it. If it's a workshop setup, it's perfectly fine. As soon as you're gonna lift it, move it into the car, put it back on the ground somewhere else, it's gonna be all out. So decent miter saw. But if you're working with the panels, with the cabinets, you don't really need a miter saw. Like, if you're working with a wood, timber, you know, hardwood, then you need a decent miter saw. But still, you can do the stuff on a table saw. On a table saw, if you have a jigs and stuff like that. But we're gonna do that later on. That's gonna be a separate video. Then yeah, so obviously a router. You need a router. I actually made a video how to convert a plunge router into the router table. But you need, I think the first one would be a palm router. They're fairly cheap. A sander, palm router. If you do some other jigs, yeah, you can buy like a hinge jig, double jig, a plane, you know, a hammer, and few chisels, stuff like that. But you will see today, for if you can order panels and you're building a small cabinet, you literally need one cheap drill, and that's it. Few drill bits. Okay, so I'll get a few parts, and I'll try to remember how I needed to assemble it. So these are two small sides. Two sides. Take the longer one at the top. Yeah, so that's the top. That's the bottom. It goes between two walls. And I'm not gonna drill pocket holes, pocket screws, holes, yeah, for the pocket screws. I will screw the cabinet together from sides. It's more sturdy, and you don't see the screw holes from the sides. Door will open up, so I have a gas lift. Yeah, that stuff as well, which I'll have to fiddle and find the right position to screw that bad boy in. So that's that. So now I need to figure out which way I measured it up. Is it this way? Yeah. Oh, okay. It's gonna be like that. Okay, cool. I need to get more space. We'll be okay with it. So probably what's next on the list? So we covered the tools and how to start. If it's a side hustle, I think the first thing for a start is if you work as a handyman or something like that, it's transferable. So you have the clients already, and you can just go to them, tell them, "Oh, listen, I do cabinets as well," and you know, you can offer them to do them, stuff like that. Or you can build it for yourself. Probably that would be the best to start. If you don't have money to waste on yourself, let's say you can ask your friends, do they need any cabinets? Media wall is going to be a big one to start if you have no experience, but it is possible to do. Start with something easy, some shelves. You can build some floating shelves, some cabinet, like even around the meter box, or something single. Tell them that, explain the story. You want to have a side hustle. You want to learn. They cover supplies. You cover labor. So basically, you build them for free. Yeah, you don't charge for your labor, and then you make the pictures, and then you post it online. So Facebook page, Google. So I'm on a Google. I'm actually like a registered business, so I am on a Google. I'm on a Facebook, and I will post a few pictures as I go when I'll be editing the video. My first builds and stuff like that, and then yeah, I think that would be the best way to start as a side hustle. Yeah. So mouths, how to say, people passing information on. Get few friends, few extended family members, build the stuff for them. They cover supplies. You do it in evenings, and you don't charge them. And whenever someone comes, so like the thing is, like, if you build someone for a state house, yeah, there's always neighbors coming around, and they have exactly the same house. They go, "Oh, who built you that?" Like, I don't want to see my meter box, or like whatever under their storage, yeah. And they will say, "Oh yeah, listen, my cousin did it," or someone else. Just tell them, don't tell cousin. because you want to build a business, but don't go apeshit overcharging the next client first one. Obviously, you need to start fairly, not cheap, but reasonable, and then build it up as you go. As the busier you get, build it up. But you will find a perfect balance for it. One of the on the mistakes list is always price the job correctly, because you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot with that. So some people will say, "Oh shit, I don't have a van, I don't have a workshop." I can tell that's all bullshit. Yeah, where's the list? So I wrote it out. Yeah. So I think my first. Where is it? So my first order I've built, sorry. My first order I've built in a garage, in a previous house. The next order I built in a client's house, because I said, well, I moved out, I don't have a garage. I moved in a single bedroom, basically garage conversion. I built 2 orders after that in a living room. And my living room's tiny. And when I mean tiny, it's tiny. It's, I don't know, maybe 3 by 6 in meters. And that's a kitchen, living room, and a bathroom. And the stairs up. So then I think next 2 orders after that. So I built in a living room. I've built next 2 orders in the clients' houses. And then I got a small workshop, half the workshop actually, which is a garage cut in half. Yeah. So there's a door here, and there's a shelves here, and you can see how much I have behind me. So transport, you can always rent a van. If you build something big, you can always rent it for an hour. There's an option depending where you live. I was driving a Mercedes C-Class, and I was working as a handyman, so I looked like a dickhead. So arriving on the site, arriving on a client, and guys stepping down from a C-Class Mercedes. Anyway, so I have but I needed to have for like a family car, and couldn't afford to have 2 cars, like a van and a family car, because basically I'm single. Ideally, your wife would have a family car, you would have a van. That's just perfectly. I have a people carrier, I have Zafira. I can fit everything I need. I have a roof rack. I can fit everything inside that I need. And just in case there's like a massive order, I don't know, like a 4-door wardrobe, which for some reason you decided to assemble in a workshop, you can rent a big van for an hour, like 2 hours and stuff like that. So maybe I should start to build something as well. Okie dokie. So small tools like a corner clamps, they're really handy. So I think I need to build from the bottom, yeah. I think that was the story, yeah. Yeah, so these corner clamps, they give you access to drill the holes, which is really nice and handy, yeah. So then let's just align with my pilot hole. Where did I leave screws? I'll be back in a sec. With them in the car. Okay, so what's the next on the list? Probably this one. Yeah, so we know how to start it. Friends, family, appearance as well. When you go to the client's houses, have like have some catalogs with you. Let's say you're working with some carpentry and stuff like that. They will have the catalogs from the kitchens. They can order all the doors in, yeah, all the hardware, all that stuff. Uh, look professional. I don't know. Have some workwear, some sort of. Doesn't need to be too clean, obviously. You're a working man. Don't wear, I don't know. Don't wear a suit, you know. The dirtier you are and cheaper car you drive, the people will be less scared, if that makes sense. When I was living in Sweden, one of our guys went to see a client, and he didn't drive a company van. He drove his 7 Series BMW to see a client, and I mean, was it 2005? You know, like the old school, the gangster one, with a tint in the windows, and it was black BMW. So obviously he didn't get a client. So don't do mistakes like that. Yeah, get a cheap runabout, dress like a working man, and that's it. Have a toolbox with you. Have a measuring tape. Have a toolbox with you. Uh, yeah, don't show up, I don't know, with a drill in a shopping bag. You know, not gonna look professional. Um, get an invoice app. Obviously, you need to register as self-employed. Blah 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 blah. All that jack, taxes, legal. Do it. You know, get an invoice app. Let's say you get an order for 1,000. Client will not want to send you 1,000 whatever, like, or give you cash. Just like, you know, just give some guy somewhere there. So get an invoice app. I use Invoice to Go. You can send estimates, and you can set up deposit requests, which is really easy. Uh, always take deposit. I would advise always take deposit amount of supplies. In case order goes south, you're not losing out of your pocket. So I had two bad examples. I burned myself as well. My friend got a client, yeah. So she wanted new windows. So he went and ordered in windows worth 16,000, and I think the husband was a seaman or something like that. So the husband came back from the sea and said, like, I'm not paying that money. We don't need new windows. So he didn't have a deposit. He didn't have a contract signed, and she just said, we're pulling out. We don't need them. So the guy was left. So it was like 4 or 5 weeks later. So the manufacturer started to manufacture the windows already. So that's it. It's gone. So obviously, from those 16 grand, he paid half of it to manufacture, and that's it. The money's gone. Like, it's a custom windows. If it's in a state house, you might be lucky. Yeah, you might be lucky that you can resell to someone else. But if it's a custom house, custom order, like, you're stuck with it. You can try to sell it for a third of the price, and you'll be lucky if you find a buyer. So yeah, so that's why always take money for supplies. If it's a custom order, for example, now a custom furniture order, I will take money for supplies and to cover my build cost, basically to cover my hours spent, and then it can work out probably about 80%. Yeah, and then your profit and installation fee. You said, when I'll deliver, I'll install it. Some clients might not like it, but just stick to that. Trust me, just stick to that. If the client's gonna go to IKEA, they will pay 100% up front. Simple as that. So anything custom, yeah, anything custom, charge up front. So I literally had a client like a few weeks ago. He wanted to, like, a small wardrobe, yeah, full length wardrobe. I said it was. I'm not going to disclose any prices, obviously. It can vary and stuff like that, yeah. So the single wardrobe, I charged. I said, was it like 60% deposit? And it was a go ahead, everything was fine, the client was happy, I sent them restaurant, they approved it, it's all recorded on messages and chats. And I sent a message out specifically saying, as soon as I'll receive a deposit, I will order supplies and I will start to make it. And I think that was like a Wednesday. Okay, I was busy during the week. Monday comes and I'm going to the sawmill to order supplies. And I texted the client, listen, I haven't received the deposit. Is everything okay? And he texted me back, oh sorry, like 2 hours later, texted me back, oh sorry, we changed our mind. So, but it was go ahead on a Wednesday. So if I would have put an order in, supplies would have been something around 300 in supplies. I would have lost it from out of my pocket. And now try to sell it to someone. It's just, you bought the supplies, then let's say you need to waste another day to build it, and then try to sell it to someone for 600. No one's going to buy it for 600. You might try to sell it for, that's just to recover loss, just, to basically to break even without any profit. So then you can try to sell it for 300 to get your supply money back. But for that reason, never ever order anything from your own money. It might be as little like 100. So if I would go install a TV bracket for a client, let's say he wants to hang a telly, I go organize a TV bracket and I go to install it, I would buy that from my own money. That's perfectly fine. Anything up to 100 that you can return to the shop, perfectly fine. Anything custom, no. So what else? What else is on the list? Appearance. Then yeah, when the orders start to come in, save all the drawings. Yeah. So these are sort of a first drawing. Then you make I don't need to make a second drawing like if it's a smaller order, because I can calculate everything in my head, and I can put straight away on a cutting list the stuff that I need. Yeah. But always save these receipts with a cutting list, because you might have that order in a year or maybe half a year. Yeah, someone walked into your friend's house, he said, I want exactly the same unit, yeah, for the bathroom. And you say, okay, perfect. You pull this out, and making the drawing and all the calculations takes more time than actually assemble the unit. So it's all the prep work, going to order the stuff in, calculations, all the cutting list. That takes majority of the time. So on the next one, you'll say half the time just because you have this one. So, what is? Save all the drawings. Yeah. Save all the drawings. What else? We're gonna go through some bits. So mistakes. Yeah. Things to avoid. Price the job correctly. I think I will make a separate. I will be making a separate video, small video about pricing the jobs, because it's difficult. I even sometimes go online, like an online tradesman, and request a quote. If you're so far out that you have zero clue how much to charge, you can go online and request a quote. Yeah, it's not, just don't ask anyone to come out and do the quote and stuff like that. You take few pictures, send it out, and you'll get ballpark from from 1 grand to 15 grand. That's how you start to get an idea of the prices. And then, was the quote rejected? Do you think it was because of the price? Maybe lower it. When you finish the job, you ended up with only 100 in the pocket. Maybe it's worth increasing the price. It's juggling all the time. Whatever the market is doing as well. What's your availability? What's your market? And stuff like that. So everyone who starts under prices massively. So when I say massively, I mean massively. When I needed for one of my clients, so I was installing the bathroom. I needed a custom mirror cabinet because of the situation. The sink was in front of the window, and the cabinet was on the side, and I wanted the cabinet to have a sliding door with a mirror on. So when you shave, you can open a cabinet and the mirror would come in front of your face. That I actually built it myself afterwards, and without even the sliding mechanism, the guy said it's like 600. I called the carpentry and said like, yeah, we can build some, like two places said just no, not gonna happen. Everyone's too busy. One guy said, yeah, I'll build it for 600. So how much? And I was building like single wardrobe, like I could say single wardrobes for half the price. Single small wardrobes, like my height, tiny wardrobes for a small bedrooms. Yeah, with a drawer in the back and one big door. I was building for like half the price. So that's then quickly dive into the workshop hour. Let's say if a guy who works in McDonald's flips burgers for 15 euros an hour, you can charge double that. Within the reason, because you're self-employed. People say, you're earning like 25, 30 quid an hour, as an example here, but they don't understand what goes into it. I charge that amount only when I'm out on a site at a client's house. But then you went out, you did the quotations, you went to the shops, you organized supplies, you need to pay your accountant, you need to do your bookkeeping. So obviously you do that in the evenings or over the weekends, but it's still your time. Driving to the client's house, it's work in emotion. Like if I wouldn't need to go to that client, I wouldn't need to drive an hour. So that's my work hour plus 20 quid for the petrol. So calculate all that in, and at the end of the day, if you charge only double what the guy is earning in a McDonald's flipping burgers, you're still losing money. You're still out. It would more make sense for you to just ditch the van and drive a bus to McDonald's and flip burgers. You will bring more money home, and I'm telling you, because I burnt myself with that. Then of course all that on top, you're buying your tools. And then if you're renting a workshop, there's such a thing as a workshop hour. And I can tell you easily, it might sound ridiculous, but probably for the actual workshop hour, you can charge 4 times the price as a normal hour. Like easily. A mechanic workshop hour is going to be 150 euros. So if you actually, let's say you go into the workshop, you build a cabinet, you have all the tools, yeah. If you're shit and you don't have all the tools and it takes you a day to build it, you can't charge a client 1,000 because you're shit. But if you have a genuine workshop, you know what you do, you can charge 100 and over 100 an hour. Because I can build the skinny bathroom cabinet an hour. It takes an hour. So when I go to the sawmill order supplies, that's my decision to do it that way rather than having all the tools in a workshop. You can probably, let's say you had 2 hours, panel prep, all that jazz, and assembly, going out to the client's house and install, yeah, let's say 2 hours. Supply wise is going to be about 250, and you can easily charge about 300 for the labor. So the skinny, like a decent size, like, I mean, yeah, my height, I will show you the pictures. So you can easily charge like 500, 600, 700. But then again, you can't charge a client 35 euros an hour and go to the client's house and, I don't know, rub your nose or rub your ass and have no clue what you do. So that's that. Price your job correctly. Record everything. All the chats, estimates. You don't need the contract per se, but you need to have proof that you can prove it. Agreement and stuff like that. If you have everything on the messages, that's great. And I burn myself as well with that. Even if I have a phone call conversation with the client, after the conversation, send them. I know it's annoying, like, it seems over the top. Send them a WhatsApp message. As per our conversation, as per our previous conversation, just to clarify this, and that sets an expectation. And if something goes south, they can't avoid paying you. And when you gotta go to the small disputes court, they can't avoid paying you, yeah, because you need to have everything recorded. You need to, and you need to explain the expectation to them as well. If you feel that they will like try to flip you on the money or something like that, first of all, like you only lose your labor hours because you took a deposit, and then when they try not to pay you at the end, the job needs to be finished for the small disputes court. And then if you have set the expectations, what they expected, with a picture, like send them a picture, it's gonna look like this, yeah. They can't, there's no way for them to get out. Anyway, that's the downside. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I'd say try it. Don't invest a lot of money into it. Try it. It's always nice to, to work with your hands, to build something. Feeling of satisfaction at the end of the day. I don't know what else. Building a business is a different situation. You need to, you can transfer from a side hustle into the business. And then don't go register as a self-employed, go straight as a business, have a capital. It makes sense to have your premises, even if it's an office. Like house doesn't work, home doesn't work, even if it's your garage, doesn't really work. You need to leave the house to go to work, and you need to leave the work at work when you come back home. It's, that's what I have found, it works the best. The home gyms doesn't work either. So that's that. Jeez Louise, that's gonna fall over. No, it's gonna stand like that. Okay, bellissimo. Yeah, pricing. Never cut corners. Always explain to the client that you can't compete with IKEA. Physically impossible. But IKEA is a cardboard wrapped in a paper. Simple as that. From my clients where I order stuff, they have highest quality, like MDF, the chipboards, yeah. It's an 18mm chipboard. It's a high density. There's different densities in the chipboards as well. If you think like you go to B&Q and you buy chipboard, it's actually 16mm in B&Q. And it's not going to be as high density as this stuff. So longevity, durability, all that comes into the play. And even the edges, yeah. Oh, come here. It's going to be hard to show, yeah. So they edge with you can see 2mm of solid plastic. You can bang that corner multiple times and it's not going to peel off. It's impossible to peel it off. But I used in the beginning once a normal panel, yeah. Try to pull one out if I can. Yeah, I know they're stuck. It's basically a standard panel and the edging's like 1/2 mil. You go past it, your t-shirt's going to get caught and you're going to peel it off. So you need to explain to the client that the piece is custom. If they want IKEA, tell them to go with IKEA. Simple as that. You can compete with IKEA prices, and they're going to go to IKEA, they're going to order a cabinet, and they're going to pay the same amount to someone else for assembly. Yeah. If they tell you like, oh listen, why do I need to pay you 600 for the cabinet if I can go and order one in IKEA for, I don't know, 400? I'll tell them that somebody will need to assemble it. And yeah, materials. Never cut corners. So if you're gonna go in your house in the cabinet and open a wardrobe, there's gonna be 3mm MDF, yeah, which is basically pressed cardboard backing. I always use a 10mm. Yeah, that's a solid backing for the cabinet. MDF with a moisture, it absorbs moisture in the room, and it will bow like that, and it's gonna look ugly. And if it's a shelves where you can see back easily, if it's a wardrobe, it's a little bit different. You don't open a wardrobe and stare at the back, But if it's a cabinet or display cabinet, always use a 10mm. Always go with a 10mm backing, solid, yeah, you know, quality, yeah. So, what else? Same hardware, yeah. Use a decent hardware. Don't go cheapo. Sliding mechanisms. There's different mechanisms you can buy for the drawers. You can buy a sliding set of sliders for like 3 quid, €3 in a screw fix. Crappy, cheap stuff. Or you can go and buy something decent from kitchen suppliers for €25 a pair of sliders. But at the end of the day, a client, if you explain the client, they will be okay to cover that expense, and they're actually paying for it. So don't, like, I did a mistakes in as a handyman as well. Yeah, I tried to save on paints, but I ended up painting, let's say, ceiling 3 times, and it was white already before. Yeah, so I bought can I say brands? I think I can. It's an honest review. Homebase crown paint, €16 a bucket if you buy 2, yeah. And I ended up painting ceiling 3 times. So for the time I spent pre-painting ceiling, I lost money. I personally lost money because I didn't get paid for that job. If I would have bought a bucket for €40, 45, I would have done it in 2 coats and would have saved. Actually, client would have paid for the paint, and I would have saved on my hours not getting paid for it. And then always ask for trade prices. Like, legitimately, just sign up for for a self-employment. Have your insurance as well, important. Like, for the cabinet making is different, but if you do bathrooms, something's gonna flood. Have your insurance. I think, yeah. So again, if you have any questions, ask them. I tend to reply online, but sometimes when it's a comment, I don't have many comments, don't have many videos. I still can respond to everyone. Ask, and I'll get back to you. Okay. So, and we are almost done. We're done with the video, but we're almost done with this cabinet. I'm not going to show you the spring thing because it's going to take me time to find the right spot for it. But that's basically it. Yeah, that's around height. I need to put that one in. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Good. Okay. Cool. See you guys.